some pictures. Can you just say what are those pictures indicate?
First one,
A
germination.
small seed pot
Yes.
is
Yes,
germinating, ma'am.
germination. Yes.
Second one, atom
Yes,
atom
ma'am.
model.
Yes.
Third one, Airbus. It was mentioned. I don't know, ma'am.
Yes, it's Airbus only, ma'am. So we learn science including everything of this. Yes, sir. So there is nothing that we don't learn, right from a small bit of grain to the entire universe. So what are we going to do in science is they're going to relate everything, ma'am. That is what. From micro to macro or macro to micro. This is what we are going to do to the children, ma'am. So in general, we say science is a magic. Yes, ma'am.
Of course.
Can
Yes,
someone
real,
say
ma'am.
which
Of
moves
course, ma'am.
faster? Which moves faster? Which moves faster? Yes, ma'am. Which moves faster in the world?
Time,
I
ma'am.
want time. Yes. Time. Anything else other than time? In terms of science, we say something moves faster. Nothing can move with the speed of that. What is that?
Light.
Light. Yes.
Light, ma'am.
Life.
Light moves faster. Okay. Can we catch light, ma'am? Can we catch light?
No, ma'am.
No. So what is light? We can't catch light, but light moves faster. Can anything move if it doesn't have matter? So we can say science is magic. So we are going to teach that magic to children, ma'am. So how do we teach science? That is what we are going to see. In that, we are going to see about physics. Yes, ma'am. How do we teach physics, or how can we make children understand physics? That's a prime idea of it. I know some of you are other science teachers, so I want you also to have some involvement in how to teach physics. So how do we learn science? Now you are going to tell me, how do we learn science? Yes, teachers?
Through observation.
Through observation, yes, good, ma'am. Anything else other than that?
By doing.
By doing, yes, good. We observe, we do, yes, we don't memorize just like math. We observe and do it. Anything else?
From known to unknown, ma'am.
Through experience and experiments, ma'am.
Good. To experience and experiment, yes. So that is what is science. As ma'am said, is correct. First we do. Yes, ma'am.
From known to unknown.
From known to unknown. So first we observe something, and then we experiment, or we based on observation we write some statements, that is hypothesis, and we do some experiment to check whether what we do is correct or not. So if it is correct, we follow the same hypothesis, else we again do the experiment. So this is how we learn science. Yes, ma'am. So we learn something scientifically. We use the word scientific. So scientific involves all those things. Can someone read what I have posted over the slide, ma'am?
How can we learn science? Observation,
Yes.
hypothesis, experiment, analyze, state,
Yes.
or repeat.
Yes. So this is how we'll do. So we have to inculcate this system into the child. So why do we fail teaching science? If you see generally in the classes, till from 6th standard to 8th standard, the child will be very, very active in learning science. But when they go for higher classes, they feel an aversion to science. Yes or no, ma'am? Can someone say? Even the parents say, my child used to get above 90, above 80 in class 8, but he's not doing the same in class 9. We hear
Yes,
it or
ma'am.
not?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We
So
do
can you
hear.
tell me what is lagging there in class 9 or higher classes?
Ma'am, the base, ma'am, the foundation 6 to 8, they have to develop the interest, ma'am, by doing a lot, ma'am. So
By doing what?
same concept was improvised in 9th and 10th. So that
Yes,
time
correct.
they got bored, same instruction, same theory was taught again. So that's
Okay.
why maybe they get bored, ma'am.
Okay. Someone else? Someone else, they get bored of using the same thing. Someone else,
Lack of practical exposure, ma'am.
yes, lack of
lot of
practical exposure. Yes. Anything else?
Ma'am, namaste, ma'am. Maybe
Yes,
up to
namaste.
8th standard, they may learn the concept only, ma'am. But from
Okay,
9th
ma'am.
standard onwards, they need to apply in their daily life.
Mm,
Mostly
yes, ma'am.
application-oriented knowledge, maybe.
Yes, ma'am. Have you all gone through the textbook of class 8 and class 9, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Science textbook. You can see the difference in textbook itself, ma'am. If you see class 8, you will have lot of activities where the children will try to do it. But in class 9, what we do is we focus more on problems, more on concepts rather than activities. Though they have learned the same activity in class 6, class 8, when they come to class 9, they don't recognize it because we just keep them away from activities. This is the only thing, ma'am. Kindly take the textbook and see. You can see the difference in textbook itself. You see, class 8, you will have colorful one, you will have colorful insights of activities and extra input related to real life activities. Have you seen, ma'am? Real life, it can be a building or it can be anything that they have
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
found
Yes,
recently.
ma'am.
But those things will be missing in higher classes. So it is our duty to include those things in higher class. So if we do that, the child will come with the same enthusiasm. So when you go on 9th standard, what we generally think is the children need to do more problems. So we focus only on problems. We focus only on the statements, what they do. So what happens? The children become less interested. So what can we do to make them interesting? So we have to take the concept just like class 8 with lot of activities. So how can I take an activity? There are concepts where we don't have activities. But we have to find the activity to make the child understand the concept. So that is where our problem becomes difficult. And one more thing I tell you, ma'am, that concept can be taught in different manner depending upon the teacher, depending upon the children. For example, I take 4 sections, let me say A, B, C, D. I cannot introduce the concept in the same way for all the 4 classes because the knowledge level of the children are different in different classes. So we have to lead the concept based on their, as you said, known to unknown. So this is how we are going to take on physics to them. So observation question, this is scientific study. So we are going to incorporate this into higher classes so that we make the child to understand more, to have more interest. So for this, you have to improvise their questioning skill or their ability to reason out more. Yes. Now someone tell me what is physics? We teach them science, we are going to teach them physics. What is physics?
Study about nature, physical property.
Yes, study about nature. Yes, good. Study about
Physical-
nature.
Physical property.
Okay, anyone else? What is physics? Ma'am is correct, but half correct. Yes. Someone else?
Measuring, ma'am.
Measuring things. Yes. So I've just given you pictures of different parts of physics. So just now we have learned what is science. Yes, ma'am. So how will we incorporate science in physics? Just one small change. Yes, what Shanti ma'am told was correct. Science is study about physical process or physical phenomena. We have one term that is missing. Can someone say what is it?
Natural phenomenon.
Physical process or natural phenomena is same. Yes, ma'am. One more word alone missing. Just now we have seen. Let me see who finds it out. Yes, ma'am. Study of physical process, natural process, both are same. Yes. This word is missing. Am I right, ma'am? What is it?
Scientific study.
study.
Yes, ma'am. That is where we are lagging, ma'am. So we have to make child to learn physics scientifically. So if we must make them learn that, we can get 100% accurate on our learning outcome and learning insight. So we all make them learn all natural process, but we don't teach them the scientific method. So that is where we are lagging. So what is physics? Is scientific study of natural phenomena or natural process. Yes, ma'am. I ask you one question. Let me see who is answering correct. How do we get energy? I asked this to my class 9 children also. How do we get energy? Yes, ma'am. We teach from first standard, we get energy from food. Am I right? But now we are going to take for which class? For class 9, I said?
9. Yes, yes.
9. So I cannot say the same statement. We get energy from food. Correct? That is digestion. We don't get energy from digestion. I hope we all would have learned biology. We don't get energy from digestion. What's the last product of digestion? Can someone say? Last product of digestion.
Glucose from carbohydrate.
Yeah, glucose and
From
byproduct.
carbohydrate.
Yes. So we eat food and food undergoes digestion. So we get only glucose from digestion. Am I right, ma'am? How will
Yes.
the glucose get converted into energy?
So through oxidation.
Through
By
oxidation.
oxidative phosphorylation, ma'am.
Yes, we have a process. What is the name of the process?
Respiration.
Respiration. Correct name. It is a part of respiration. Yes.
Cellular respiration.
Very good. Cellular respiration. This is what correct. Yes, ma'am. See, we are taking for class 9, but we are not able to mention the process. But the child learns this in class 7. Is anyone teaching class 7? Have you taught class 7, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
In class 7, you have a chapter called respiration. We learn 2 types of respiration. In one thing, we have external, that is inhalation, exhalation. The second part is cellular respiration.
Yes,
Now tell me, food gives us energy. Is the statement correct for class 9 children?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. Yes, ma'am. So this is where we lag, ma'am. So when we tell children, we have to familiarize with them with the real concept. Already the child has learned. But when we say something, we have to be very clear in terms of the subject. So once we incorporate or interrelated these things, the child also will become the same. Yes, ma'am. So where I use this term in class 9 physics. Can someone say, is any physics teacher here? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
In class 9 physics, where can I use this concept? We eat food to get energy, but not we get energy by the process of cellular respiration. In work and energy concept. Yes, ma'am. In work and energy, we have a term called is energy transferable? Yes, ma'am. We plants prepare food from sun, and we consume plants to get energy. So in that place, we can use this concept. So our part here is to familiarize children with the exact concept, not what they have learned in lower classes. So as we go higher, our points should be refined. Redefined and refined. That is what I say. Yes, ma'am. So what is physics?
Scientific study of physics.
Scientific
good.
study of physics.
Physical process or natural phenomena. So when we teach children, they should know why do they learn it or what are they learning it. Not just simply learning physics is mechanism, measurement, like that. Yes, ma'am. So now we go for today's concept. Yes. We see signs everywhere. Yes. Here. Can you see what is that, ma'am? Can you see the picture over the screen?
Car, moving car.
A moving car.
Moving.
Yes, moving car. How you identify that the car is moving?
One place to another.
It is shifting
Displacing.
from one place to some other place.
Yes, it is moving from one place to
Okay.
some other place. Anything else
With time, ma'am.
with
Or-
time? Yes.
Left side to right side, ma'am.
It is moving from left side to right side. Good. So that is how we incorporate the concept of motion itself. So the child also would have seen, but the child will not tell in terms of physics. So what is our duty is the child to see something in terms of physics, think in terms of physics, explain in terms of physics. We say it is moving from one place to another. I can say it in terms of biology also. But when I say it in terms of physics, it is moving from left side to right side. So like this is what we need to expect the child to explain. The car is moving. So our role, as I said, to make children think in terms of science, explain in terms of science. So we are not going to teach something that the child has not seen at all. So carrying something from one place to another, the child has done. But what he's doing, that is what we want to make the child to think. Yes, ma'am? The car is changing its position with respect to time and surroundings. That is when it is moving from left side to right side, its distance changes, so its position changes. So this is what we are going to make the children do. So agenda. Now only we are going for agenda. Today's agenda. So what are we going to see is how to introduce the concept, concept splitting, concept map, time splitting, different teaching methodologies. So this is what we are going to do today. And tomorrow, what are we going to do? I'll just give you a gist also. So if you want something, we'll add on to that also. Okay, ma'am? So how do we introduce a concept? So this is one model. So you will give examples that are interesting, that are relevant to the topic, and you will ask them to explain about it. So this is what we do. So usually what I do is, I don't tell the chapter name to the children at all. So when we go, we write the chapter name, no ma'am. I don't write the chapter name. I will make the child itself to say what chapter I'm going to take. So we'll have to give examples that is cited to our concept, that is related to our concept. So that is how we have to introduce the concept. So known to unknown, as you said, we'll go with known examples or the examples that they see in their everyday life. And we are going to kindle their curiosity. So what's the meaning of this word? Can someone say? What's the meaning of this word?
Triggering, ma'am.
Triggering? Yes. So when will they get triggered of their this? When you ask them lot of examples or when you give them lot of examples, they'll automatically have curious. You ask them, you explain me the examples. Automatically, the person who is not talking also will start giving their answers. So from that, we have to take the point that will be helpful to introduce the concept. So get info from the children. So we are only facilitators. Children already have seen everything. So we are going to make them connect in terms of science. So for that, we are going to facilitate the child to get into the concept. The child need to explore from her experiences. I'll also show you a model of how to do it. The child should explain in terms of physics. So if you are able to do this, our half work is over. Because a child will start thinking in terms of physics. He will start connecting things related to that also. So this is what we do, ma'am.
Find
Find the
facts
facts behind terms related to the concept.
Yes.
First of all, the child's experience towards the basic concept by means of giving a pictures,
Yes.
by showing with an example, if possible
Yes.
with an activity and a demo. Finally, we will end up the session with a group discussion. And we will try to incorporate the physical truths by recapitulation of unknown topic. Group activity. pre-engaging one, and child's terms in physics along with the pre-study worksheet.
See, teachers, we can use all these things to introduce our concept. All this. You can give you some fun facts or a child pictures. You can show a picture, show an example, or a group discussion. I'll just show you one example. I'm just stopping my screen share. So you can see some terms over the screen,
Yes,
some
ma'am.
pictures.
Yes, ma'am.
So like this, you can ask them to give some words that denotes force. So we can introduce a concept based on that. So I have given few examples: shatter, punch, collide. So like this, you can give some examples also and make them do it. So you can use any form of thing to introduce a concept. Yes, ma'am. So the child also will be nearly 35 words they will give you, ma'am, the terms related to force. So which we use in our daily life. So we can introduce a concept like this also. So I said giving an example, citing an example, showing some pictures. So we can do it, ma'am. See, so concept splitting has a major role to how we take the classes. Based on all those things, first we should see the chapter, what are all there. And based upon a student's knowledge, we have to split up the concept. So I hope you would have seen macro, micro, mini, tidbits. This is how we'll have to split up. So full chapter, we'll split the chapter into subtopics and then subtopics and then info. This is what is known as concept splitting. So we will not miss any small info. So we have to first majorly split the chapter into main subtopics and then subtopics. Yes, teachers? So this will not be same for all the classes, as because one class will answer very good, one class the interaction will be very lesser, so it will not be correct. So it will vary depending upon the classes, depending upon the teachers. So major one, first we have to include this. The second one is concept map. So it is based on concept splitting, which helps us also to understand and remember the info and helps the child also to understand. So first we have to understand the concept splitting and then we have to make lesson plans based on the concept map. So I'll show you one model of the concept map. This is a concept map for force and laws of motion. It's available in the net. This is available in the net. So we cannot use the same for our children because our children's range will be different. So how can we split? So how do I split? So this is how I usually split the concept, ma'am. Only 3 concepts: force, laws of motion, conservation of momentum. So these 3 are major concepts. And in force, what is force? Effects of force, classification of force. Laws of motion, you can have inertia, its type, first law, momentum, examples, problems. And the third one is conservation of momentum. So all your problems, your units will come under the 3 categories itself. So this is my concept splitting and concept map for my class. Now first is concept splitting. Second one, what is the second one, ma'am? After concept splitting?
After
Concept
concept
map.
splitting, it is the map.
Concept map.
Concept
So
map.
this is
ma'am.
my concept map. So third is very, very essential. What is the third one? That is time splitting.
Time splitting.
So time splitting, concept splitting, concept maps. These three are interrelated for us to transact the information. So how do I split it? Number of concepts, number of sessions, micro concept, and mini time schedule. Can someone say what is that mini time schedule? Yes.
No idea, ma'am. Sorry.
Topic
idea,
what we
ma'am.
are going to explain on that day, ma'am, in that period, ma'am.
Okay, in that period. Okay, can you? Yes, ma'am. So what I'm going to explain on that period. For example, one period has how many minutes? Can someone say? One period has how many minutes?
45 minutes, ma'am.
40 minutes, 40 to 45
Oh,
minutes. ma'am.
45 minutes, correct, ma'am? So 45 minutes. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
So what is your duty in this 45 minutes? This is what is called as mini time schedule. Correct, ma'am? So in concept splitting, we know how many concepts are there, how many sessions I'm going to take, how many micro concepts are there, and what I'm going to do in this 40-minute session. That is our goal. So when you start as a teacher, we just go transact. But after a year of teaching, you will get to know how to take the concept to the child. So we will have to sit and plan for this 45-minute class. It is it's just like a small step. You need to go 100 steps, but how you walk in each step, that activity we have to do in this 45 minutes. So usually in the 45 minutes, I hope 5 minutes will be a great time. Yes, ma'am? Yes. So remaining, I have 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do for this 40 minutes class? So this is what you have to plan. So today what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you a chapter, work on energy. You will plan for one period and tell me how you plan 45 minutes. Then I show you my plan, how I have planned for this 45 minutes. Yes, ma'am? Will you do it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not giving you a big homework. You will just have to sit for 15 to 20 minutes. That's it. Any one period, one concept you take. Whatever concept you want, you can take. But I want the details of all 40 minutes, what you will do in the class. Yes, teacher? Will you do?
Yes, ma'am.
I get only answers from 2 members.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because once we are ready with this 40 minutes, we are clear what are we going to transact for each minute of the period. Our point is 50% successful. So I have a topic, work and energy. I go tell what is in the book. I can tell in 5 minutes also. I can tell in 30 minutes also. But I'm going to take one small concept, 140 minutes. So what I'm going to do there? So that is what we have to plan. Yes, teachers. So I'm going to show you how I have splitted this 4th and chapter lesson. So you can see the 4th and chapter lesson. To introduce the concept, can you see the yellow colored one that is over the right side?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
shows the number of periods. So you can take the concept of force, effects, and classification into 1 or 2 periods. It depends upon the child. How the child interaction, the interaction of the child. So you're going to introduce only 3 concepts. What is force? What are the effects of force? Classification of force. And laws of motion, 4 or 5 periods. For laws of motion alone, if I'm very precise, to introduce what is inertia and type alone will take you 1 full period. 1 full period to introduce the concept of inertia and its type. Observation of momentum, derivation 1 period, exam periods you will need. And the entire chapter You will have nearly 25 questions. So formula, in-text questions, exercise 3 periods. So it takes around 11 to 15 periods to carry out this force and laws of motion. Yes, ma'am. CBSE itself will be giving us the number of periods for each concept to be transacted. So we cannot rely on that. Why? Because our children's knowledge will be different. So we cannot transact easily. That is why if you see I put 1 or 2 periods, 4 or 5 periods, because it varies depending upon the children. So will you do for 1 period time splitting for work and energy teachers today?
Yes, ma'am.
So that I will know how far you have been taking up this class. And next we going for teaching methodology. So what is teaching methodology? Can someone say? What is teaching methodology?
The way how we are going to teach that concept to the students, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Like
Ma'am?
as participative inquiry method and all we can use.
Do you think a child needs only a teacher to teach them the concept? I hope last 2 years we were all locked at our home. Children had various sources to understand what is what. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I type one word in the internet, I get lot of information in the internet. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
You take the word work or force, you have a simple definition also, a complex, concrete explanation also. Correct? The child is having a various resource to understand a concept. Then why we are important as a teacher? As I said, we eat food to get energy. The statement is correct for a first standard child. But the same statement is not correct for a 9th standard child. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
No. So a child can get information from anywhere, from everywhere in different ways and different ranges. But at this range, what all they need to know, how all they need to know, that is where our point lies. That is why our role becomes important to teach him the concept. If you go type a PPT or type a video on something, you get nearly 1,000 videos on the same concept. But the child will not know which is a relevant video for his class. So that is where our question becomes more responsible. So you can see here, you have a triangle. At the side of a triangle, you have 3 E's. Can someone say what are the 3 E's? 3 E's.
Engage,
Empower.
Empower,
Empower,
excite. So this is where we are going to do. So I introduce the concept. I give an example. I engage the child. I'm asking the child to explain the example in his own experience. So I give him empowerment. Then one child answers. What automatically the other child will do?
Try to answer.
He'll
They
try
also,
to.
they will also try to answer.
Very good. They'll also try to answer. And there may be some child who says, ma'am, that is wrong. This is right. Correct? Yes, ma'am? So automatically what will happen when a child says, ma'am, that girl is telling wrong. This is what correct. So automatically the child who doesn't think will come to know which is correct, which is wrong. He'll also participate in the discussion. So this is where group discussion happens. So I hope you would have learned about learning objectives in your previous one. So to obtain our learning objective, we have to do these 3 things. Engage the child, empower the child. What is empower the child? I speak. Imagine I'm speaking. There is no response from the audience. What will happen? What will happen?
it will not be interactive, ma'am.
It will not be interactive. I cannot achieve my goal. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. We should not be
So,
clear that whether they have
uh,
taken us the concept or not.
Yes. So that is what I have a class of 40. I cannot make all 42 give their ideas. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how can I make them give an idea? For example, I have 5 minutes. I'll kindly tell this example. Each bench will have to give me one example. So I have a class of 40. I hope at least 10 or 12 people will get a time to give their example. Yes.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes.
automatically I engage most of the participants in the class. So when we do it, we have to make sure that each time one person each bench gives us the answer. So automatically everyone will start giving responses. So our teaching methodology should have the three things: engage, empower, excite, so that we can achieve our learning objective. So even if there are some places where you don't have activity, you will have only board and chalk without any material, that we have to find a way to make the child come into the discussion.
Learning pyramid, ma'am.
Learning from it, yes. So how much a child will understand in 2 weeks? If he reads or hears only 30%, if he sees images only 50%, but if he participates in something, he'll be able to remember 90% even after 2 weeks. So we have to try to make our classes maximum in this last part, so that he will remember for a longer period. So that is why it is very, very challenging for us to introduce a concept or to make a concept be in a child for a longer period. I show a demo, the child will understand 50%. But if a child does a demo, he'll remember for a longer time. So how to make the child do the demo? So we have to find ways for it. So I will show you some of the ways which we can use in our classes. So our teaching methodologies are 3 types of centered: teacher-centered, learner-centered, content-centered, and participative centered. So what is teacher-centered? Age-old method. We do one-way talking. We don't listen to the child. We only give, just like a TV or a radio. We have a TV or a radio, yes, ma'am. Whether we speak or not, TV or radio will do the work. So that is what is called a teacher method, a lecture or a demo method. But a learner method. So you have, what is the difference between learner method? Inquiry. Can someone say what is inquiry?
Questioning about the things of what we are discussing.
Yes. Questioning about this. Why? How? So we have to make the child ask us the answer why or how. Why, miss? How, miss? You have CGDL. Can someone say what is CGDL? Have you heard of it? But many of us use this in our classes. CGDL. Yes?
No, ma'am.
No? Collaborative, guided, discovery, learning. Collaborative, guided, discovery, learning. I tell you what. We ask a child to do an activity without teaching a concept. Yes or no, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you say some activity, any activity that you have given in your class? Without introducing concept, you ask them to do some activity. Yes?
Pollution.
Collision? Yes. You ask them to do collision? Yes. After doing the activity, yes.
They already will be a little aware of the concept. So
Okay.
even before itself we introduce, they themselves can come up with what is actually the definition itself they can come up with.
That is what. So that is what we are going to do. We know all those things, but we have to inculcate it into our teaching. That is what. So they can do lot of activities. For example, in class 9, if you take inertia, you can file a stack of coins. You can ask them to strike the last coin alone. So entire stack will remain at rest. The child will be able to give the answer. Or a person is riding in a horse. The horse is stopping suddenly. What will happen to the person?
He'll move forward.
He'll move forward. There's a collision between a lorry and a two-wheeler. What will happen to the person sitting in a two-wheeler?
They'll come out of the vehicle. I mean, they'll.
He'll go hit into the lorry. He'll go hit into the lorry. Yes, ma'am. So when they start explaining the example, they itself will start discovering the answers and reasons behind it. So activity, group or individual, worksheet. GO is graphic organizer. GD is a group discussion. So it is not that a group discussion should be for 30 minutes or 1 hour. You can have 1 minute group discussion, 2 minutes group discussion. Yes, 2 minutes group discussion, 1 minute group discussion will make everyone in the class to participate into the subject. So this is how we are going to inculcate the teaching methodologies in this. For example, same statement. How do we get energy? You can ask the child to discuss and find the answer. Each child will give you examples. I get energy from food. I get energy by eating plants, by eating fruits, like that. Each one will give us. So we can start working or discussing upon the topic. And content related. Number 1, role play. Can someone explain me what is role play? What is role play? We have seen only in English and Tamil, correct, ma'am?
For illustrating some diagrams in biology and all, we used to use this technique, ma'am.
Okay.
For each and
Yes.
every parts, it will be having some works to do separately. That and all we
Okay.
can make the students to talk like that. They
I
have to
still
assume.
remember, ma'am, my biology teacher has given me this role play. Then, when we are class 6 or 7, when we learn the binomial nomenclature, right? For hibiscus, we have Rostanio sinensis. Cockroach, we'll have a name. So what our biology teacher did is, she asked us to write the name of it and a biological name. We'll have a label in our dress. So when someone calls me, they'll not use my name. They'll use only this binomial name.
Yes,
So what happened in 1 week? No, we are able to remember all the binomial names. So here, how can they inculcate in physics? Number 1, you can ask them to have all the physical quantities. One person can have force, one person velocity, one person distance, one person acceleration. He can come and say, I am acceleration, my definition, my unit. I'll be increasing when a person is going in a bypass road. I will decrease when the person is traveling in a signal. So like this, we can form some role play in physics also. The child will be more interested and he will remember that concept. Flashcard. I hope you would have known what is flashcard. Yes.
Ma'am, we couldn't hear you, ma'am. Ma'am?
Ma'am, couldn't hear you in your voice, ma'am.
Ma'am, no.
Not
No.
audible.
Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So word games, like I told you now, ma'am, we can introduce the concept of force with the help of different words. Snatch, grab, dash, hit. So you can have some word games in physics, doing some experiments, PPTs. So all these things we can use in a small concept. So I hope some of you will think, should the teacher do all these things for all the classes? Yes, ma'am. I'm handling class 6, 7, 8. How can I do all the things for all the classes? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. It's
It
very
become
difficult
hectic.
to manage that. Yes, ma'am.
Correct. So what
We
can I do?
give the students to do PPTs, ma'am. It can be a part of their project work or something.
That is what I'm telling. So we have to find a way the child will be interested to do. So when before starting the chapter itself, you can call few members and make them ready for this concept. So you can have that as your material and you can use it for the next class also. So you need not sit and do all the work. If you just lay a road, the child will build the castles over the road now. So it is only our duty to draw the sketch point. The child will be able to fabricate it better. Only thing is, We should plan before. If I don't plan, it is very difficult. So planning is very, very important. So I'm going to take this concept next week. So I can call 2 or 3 children who are interested in science to make something like this. So they'll be interested. You need not call the same child for everything. It will be a child's participation also. When you say this child has done so and so, the child will get interested more. So like that, we can circulate and have. So that our work burden also is reduced. Yes, ma'am. So these are some learning teaching methodologies. And next, important one. Can someone read me the slide?
Yes, ma'am. Be specific that each science class has child-centered activity, inquiry-based group discussion, and extended learning, a link up to next class.
Yes. So every science class should have this 4. If you have this 4, your science class will become interactive. You know, I still have people, children coming, ma'am, I'll miss the class. I missed the last class. What you did in the class. So we should build that inquiry till that level so that the child hesitates to miss the class. Child-centered activity. So I already told you what are all the child-centered. Learner-centered activity or all child-centered activity. Yes, ma'am. Content and learner-centered are interrelated. So any one activity you should include in your concept. Next step. And extended learning. Can someone say what is extended learning?
Beyond the
Beyond the
classroom,
topic, they can learn.
Beyond the topic.
Beyond what is given in the textbook.
beyond
But
the
on the
classroom, ma'am.
Yes, beyond the classroom, something that is relevant to recent technology you have to include, ma'am. Surely every concept will have something that is linked to recent technology. So with that, you can connect this concept. You can end up the class, find how this is working. So that will add up a link for the next class. So don't give too much of homework. Give them a homework that is having inquiry-based one. So find how this is working. Find why this is the reason. Find the reason behind it. Find the physical truth behind it. So this should be in each and every class. So if you frame each and every class with this, I hope surely the child will be interested in learning the concept. He will not lose that curiosity in the class. And because there are different learning styles in the class. So when we start a group discussion, when a child answers, other children understand more better than when we transact a particular concept. So we have to use all the types of learning styles, at least 2 or 3 learning styles in each class. One visual, one demo, one group discussion. Like this, we have to try to incorporate the teaching methodology. Yes, ma'am. Now we'll come to our concept. So for 4th chapter, what are all teaching methodologies or teaching things I can use? I can use a pre-study worksheet. Can someone say why I'm using a pre-study worksheet for force and laws of motion?
Because they are learning this from lower classes.
Very good. Correct, ma'am. They learned it force from 6th standard, 8th standard, and again 9th standard. So you can give them a pre-study worksheet so that it will be a recollection of the value points that they have learned in the previous classroom. And second, force words, different words that is related to force. Number 3, tug of war. I hope all have played tug of war. Yes. So how can you use this in 4th chapter? Where can I use it? Very good, ma'am. Balance and unbalanced force. The child will very well understand. Maybe we'll miss 10 to 12 minutes in playing tug of war. You can have each bench wise you can have. So if you have 7 benches, 4 or 5 times, they can go and do it. So they will understand the concept more. Activities depicting the examples, GD, quiz. So I'll show you my quiz also at the end of the tomorrow. I will show you the quiz, how my quiz is there for this force and laws of motion. And you can plan role play and seminar. So how can I take in seminar into the class? Is it possible for me to take in seminar? Can someone say? Yes.
Actually, we already told that there will be concepts which the child already know. So
Yeah.
based on that, the child can prepare some concepts and come and present inside the class.
Yes.
Based on that, we can build the next concept.
Yes. So this year I've started taking class 12. The class 12 children are very, very interested in coming to my class because I've started seminar in their class. So how they do the seminar? Every day, 2 minutes, a child will take a seminar. On what? On the concept that I have already taken. So that will go in an order. I will choose someone, they'll prepare their own concept. So they will come to in front of the board and teach the particular concept. So what happened finally, the child who didn't understand the concept also was able to understand. Because 4 or 5 children will be taking the same concept. So after a period of 1 week, what will happen? All children will try to remember the same concept. So this seminar, I found it was very, very essential for class 12. The child understood the concept more better. That too only 2 minutes. So every day, 4 minutes. Out of the 45 minutes, 4 minutes will be taken by the seminar, the beginning of the class. So 2 minutes by one child, 2 minutes by a second child. So that the child also will get a confidence over the concept. So I have used all these techniques in my class. So you can frame your own teaching methods in your class. Yes, teachers, I'll wind up. Don't worry, I'll wind up sharply by 3:30. So this is Bloom's taxonomy. So age-old taxonomy, but it still forms the main bridge between us and the child. So before class, during class, after class. So our transacting concept should match all these things. So if it matches 80%, we can achieve our learning outcome.